Hello, and welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're excited to share our thinking today around the new logic of work, including a major product announcement. Earlier this year, Mark Andreessen described our move to hybrid work as a permanent civilization shift that may be the most important thing that has happened in our lifetimes, possibly more important than the creation of the internet itself. This is quite a statement coming from the creator of the first internet browser and leading Silicon Valley venture capitalist. We think it captures the magnitude of change and the opportunity in front of us. In large parts of society and work, we're increasingly decoupling physical location from economic opportunity. People are following their dreams, changing jobs, and moving to new cities or even exploring more nomadic lifestyles. If you think about it, this is really the first time in human history that much of modern work can be done anywhere, independent of where you live. Hybrid has also opened up our ability to work from your front porch, be on time for your kid's softball game, and score a job at the company of your dreams. Yet the shift to hybrid is, and will be, messy. We're only at the very beginning of it. We believe there's a better way to do it. We don't have to default to the way we did things before, that we are, quote, going back to the office or doing it how we worked pre-2020. This is our chance to reimagine what work can really be. We can do it better and differently than we've done before. More collaborative, more productive, and maybe even a lot more fun. This is incredibly exciting stuff and a huge opportunity for Logitech, a company that's been empowering remote and hybrid work for years. Companies who win in the hybrid world will be relentless champions of human connection and collaboration, empowering users with the right tools to keep them healthy, to work on their own terms, and to have an equal voice at the table. Experimentation and iteration, they're the name of the game. We need fresh thinking about the way we work and collaborate. Companies are finding that success is not simply about offering a combination of in-office and remote working. It's much more complicated than that. We've seen distributed teams struggle to collaborate on video because it's difficult to replicate the experience of being there in person. We sometimes strain to see and hear everyone clearly. We hesitate to find the right moment to jump into a conversation from a distance. And we're often limited in our ability to perceive nonverbal cues, the nuance of body language, the room context for people in the back of a conference room, or ideas scribbled on whiteboards. Many of us have realized that personal workspaces are often not meeting hybrid work requirements. When offices were forced to close, I'm sure many of you were like me. I grabbed whatever I could from my office desk, thinking it would be good enough for a few weeks. Boy, was I wrong. We cobbled together work-from-home setups that were suboptimal. And I'm guessing many of you have yet to improve on these hacks. Distributed teams require a new level of collaboration and experimentation between IT, workspace design, and people and culture. There's some great innovation happening around collaboration spaces, but it's hard for IT managers to keep up. At Logitech, we've been working at the center of this seismic shift all along. You know us as the leader in mice and keyboards, but we've also quickly and quietly become the world leader in video collaboration. You might not know, but roughly 1 out of 2 conference rooms worldwide are powered by Logitech video collaboration. I'm super proud of what we've done there. And we ourselves have been working in a video-first distributed way for nearly a decade. In fact, we released over a dozen new products with remote teams during the height of the pandemic. Today, we'll share some of the latest advancements in technology that are aimed at helping with hybrid work's biggest challenges. Now, we don't have all the answers, but we do feel an obligation and a passion to help figure it all out with you. This hybrid world requires an entirely new approach, an approach that can elevate human connection, make sure people are seen and heard, and ensure teams are motivated, inspired, and have the right tools to be successful. In short, the new logic of work requires a shift in our thinking. To tell you more about the new logic of work, I'd like to hand it over to Haley.
Thank you, Scott. As you know, Logitech is committed to making work better, easier, and more comfortable for everyone by continuously researching, evaluating, and responding to how work changes. Welcome to the new logic of work, where people are no longer human resources, but key stakeholders. Today's workforce, especially generations coming up into management roles now, want to work for companies who are invested in their success and well-being, for employers who prioritize and offer a top-notch employee experience, taking into account individual and unique needs, the spaces where people work, and how they want to use those spaces. The new logic of work, where people are empowered to work from anywhere. Now, we know the future of work is not a one-size-fits-all equation. Work tools need to be inclusive and tailored to meet everyone's needs. People should choose the solutions for their personal workspaces that best fit their lifestyle and work style. Because when people look great, sound great, feel good, they can do their best work. And with personalized headsets and webcams, docking stations for clean cabling, this all goes a long way towards creating a more conducive environment for creativity and productivity. The new logic of work, where companies promote physical and mental well-being by giving people the tools they need to be productive and engaged, such as ergonomic mice and keyboards that reduce pain and increase productivity. People need the option to be standing or walking around the room while they speak and have the camera follow their movements and train of thought. My favorite is the walk and talk, where I need great audio for a one-on-one. Individual choice is crucial to setting employees up to succeed, and it goes beyond tools. Everyone has to find the right balance between work and play. When I'm working, I want to be focused and productive, and of course, comfortable. And when I break for the day, I don't want to feel fatigued, which is precisely why I need tools that enable a mix of standing, sitting, and being in motion throughout my day. The new logic of work, where we create the right environments for collaboration. The office is not the only place where we go to work these days. The old way of work is going to an office, sitting at a desk all day. Well, now we're really reimagining what office spaces can be. We want to go in and chat, brainstorm, socialize, and share ideas with colleagues. We want comfy spaces, outdoor spaces, rooms that are configured for our collaboration needs, with video solutions that truly enable every person to be seen and heard. We can strive for equal representation on our teams, whether remote or in person. Because work is now done on a spectrum. From home to office and in between spaces, we need all spaces to be video spaces. In the new logic of work, everyone can participate equally. And to tell you more about how we're specifically enabling this, I'd like to turn it over to Ricardo.
Thank you, Haley. We know from research and personal experience that being able to clearly see someone's eyes, their expression, the way they speak, understand their gestures, is a fundamental part of human behavior that helps us develop trusted, authentic relationships and foster a sense of belonging, even with folks that have never met in person. We also know that every knowledge worker is different. If you take an executive, a developer, an analyst, a designer, or someone that works in engineering, and spend time with them, observe them, and understand their pain points like we do with our research teams, you'll find that each of them has particular needs around workflow, ergonomics, and aesthetic preferences. Ultimately, they all have something in common, which is the desire to create, build, make an impact, and thrive. At Logitech, we believe that we should consider individual needs and preferences for all people, and that any space where work happens should be video-enabled. From a design and product development perspective, we often think about the work we do through a series of experience dimensions, and I'd like to walk you through a few of them. Let's start with individualization and choice. Earlier this year, we pioneered a new product category, collaboration docks, with LogiDock, an all-in-one docking station with speakerphone, which now allows workers to be headset-free, comes with meeting controls, as well as desk decluttering superpowers. We introduced Brio 505 with HDR, built-in privacy, and show mode. Powered by an accelerometer and an innovative mount design, it now gives workers the option to share documents and physical objects at their desk. We grew our Zone family of headsets and now serve a wider spread of preferences, with Zone True Wireless, our Zone Wired earbuds, and more recently, Zone Vibe, our ultra-light circumaural headsets designed for all-day comfort. And we continue to lead innovation in creating tailored tools that promote well-being and productivity for all people with Lift, which now comes in left and right-handed versions. It's ultra comfortable and can be part of a beautiful work setup. Personal workspaces are about individualization and choice. We give you a wide array of options so you can choose the best fit for individual needs and roles. Simple to use, this is our obsession with removing friction from video meetings and lowering the barrier for participation. One touch to book a meeting, one touch to join a meeting that works the same way in every meeting room, one touch to share a whiteboard into the video meeting, and now one touch to join a meeting from home with Logitech. Hear and Be Heard is about clear audio communication regardless of location and context. With Right Sound, our audio technology that uses AI-based noise canceling, we create protective bubbles of sound to make sure users can hear and be heard, and we give them options. In-ear, on-ear, and over-the-ear, boom and boomless, wired and wireless, with passive and active noise canceling. We know options are important, in particular when it's something that people wear over extended periods of time. For our meeting room devices, our products are calibrated to meet the audio needs of small, medium, and large meeting spaces. And we also give IT folks flexibility. Depending on the room size, geometry, and the materials in the meeting space, you may want to add audio enhancements, and that's where our Rally mic pods come into play. You can pair them up with any of our Rally devices, all the way up to 7 for large meeting spaces. See and Be Seen is about increasing visibility for all participants. With Right Sight, we make sure people can see and be seen. Some of our webcams feature auto framing. We introduced show mode with Brio 505. We brought the traditional whiteboard into video meetings with Scribe. And we just introduced Right Side 2 with Grid View, so you now have an option between grid, speaker, and group views. We believe our solutions solve many challenges around hybrid work, but we also see an opportunity to make meetings more equitable, specifically in medium and large rooms. To describe the challenge in these spaces and introduce you to our new solution, I'd like to hand it over to Henry.
Thanks, Ricardo. Meetings today combine participants dialing in from the home office, the lake house, and a conference room. Those who dial in remotely are often clearly visible to others, especially those using Logitech webcams. Unfortunately, the same isn't always true for participants joining from a conference room, in particular, those in traditionally shaped medium and large size rooms. While it's nice to think that most meetings look like this, the reality is much messier. The speaker is often not visible, and when the content is shared, the situation is worsened. This makes it hard for remote participants to feel part of the conversation, which introduces challenges around collaboration, team dynamics, and culture. Over the past several years, we've thought a lot about how to improve the video experience for traditional room layouts. I'd like to walk you through several approaches we've considered. We'll call the first approach front of room. In this approach, we use AI and computer vision to frame meeting participants and present them similarly to those dialing in. This approach, which we support with Right Sight 2, is particularly effective in smaller rooms. However, in medium and large rooms like this one, it can be less effective because meeting participants tend to speak to each other and not look at the camera. And in-room participants can inadvertently block out the active speaker by simply leaning forward in their chair. We think Right Sight 2 has significantly improved the remote participants' experience. But for some rooms, a single camera is not enough. The second approach we considered was building a standalone 360 camera. Traditional 360 cameras can capture participants when the conversation is taking place across the table. But as soon as the in-room conversation switches to remote participants, things start to fall apart and the view of those in the room is far from ideal. To put it another way, we've simply traded one problem for another. Additionally, some 360 cameras offer a panoramic room view to provide spatial context. but many of our customers remarked on how unnatural this type of viewing experience can be. Think about it. The gentleman in the black shirt is sitting next to the woman in the white blouse, but they're on the opposite sides of the screen. Also, these devices typically include a speaker. This results in a remote participant's voice coming from the center of the table, while their video is in the front of the room, once again creating an unnatural collaboration experience. The third approach we considered was using multiple discrete cameras placed throughout the room. Let's call it Stadium. With this approach, multiple cameras capture participants from various angles to avoid some of the issues I described earlier. But the question you might be asking yourself is, where do you place the cameras? Installing them higher on the wall provides a security camera-like viewing experience. Placing them at eye level makes it far too easy for in-room participants to block the camera's view. And if you have glass walls, well, then things just got way more complicated. Beyond those challenges, this approach requires multiple cameras, even for medium-sized rooms. And as many of you will remind me, the cost of these devices can pale in comparison to the installation costs like running power and Ethernet in walls that it was never meant to include them. The fourth approach involves changing the physical design of the room. We call it stage. In this approach, crescent-shaped tables are used to ensure all participants are facing toward the front of room camera. This avoids participants blocking the camera's view and allows for our right side to grid view feature to frame everyone individually.
This is an effective approach, but mainly for smaller group meetings, since the layout changes a room's maximum occupancy.
For medium and large rooms, we believe there's a better approach to solve the meeting equity problem, and I'd like to play a short video to introduce you to it. Pretty cool, right? Our approach involves using multiple cameras with multiple viewpoints to follow the conversation just as if you were in the room. For example, when an active speaker addresses remote participants, we use the front of room camera. And when they address someone across the table, we automatically switch to the tabletop view. This way, we always present the speaker in a natural view, which gives remote participants the feeling that they're part of the conversation. It's as if you had a professional cameraman in the room. We're going to unlock this experience with Logitech Sight, our beautiful tabletop camera system that works as an extension to Rally Bar and Rally Bar Mini. We've designed Logitech Sight to deliver on 3 simple principles. Let's start with better video. Logitech Sight uses 2 4K cameras, onboard AI, and computer vision to perfectly capture and frame meeting room participants. The dual camera system creates a 315-degree field of view capture area, ensuring everyone at the table can be seen, and at the same time, avoiding capturing the front of room displays. We combine the tabletop view with the front of room view and intelligently decide which has the better view of the active speaker. To further enhance the experience, we're working on deeper integrations with our key partners, Google, Microsoft, and Zoom. With Google Meet, our integrated support of Right Side 2 will be further extended by Sight to present virtual attendees with the best view of the in-room action. With Microsoft Teams, we will provide intelligent camera experiences with multiple video streams to enable the next generation of inclusive meetings. And with Zoom, we will expand our Smart Gallery integration to include in-room participant views from the tabletop perspective. For better audio, Logitech Sight includes our most advanced microphone system yet. The 7 beamforming mics with advanced AI noise suppression accurately identify active speakers. Additionally, the same microphones allow Sight to capture the conversation. This means, for rooms where you would normally use a mic pod, you can now just use Sight. And yes, Sight even includes a mute button. And finally, simple to install. We've engineered Sight to be really simple to deploy, even in existing rooms. That way, there is a more consistent video experience across the organization. Installing Sight requires just one Cat6 cable from Rally Bar or Rally Bar Mini and a power connection at the table. In the future, we will enable daisy chaining to Sights, making it possible to support even larger spaces. Sight can be easily mounted on various surfaces. The included table mount uses a micro-suction lining, allowing for a secure installation without requiring drilling or using more permanent fixtures. The included grommet mount offers a completely secure installation while also tucking cables away neatly. And the built-in tripod thread allows for more flexible configurations for spaces that use U and V-shaped tables. And that's Logitech Sight. It will be available in the summer of 23, with beta for select customers beginning this winter. Logitech Sight joins our ecosystem of products that truly level the playing field for distributed teams. We have the ability to ensure all participants are represented equally, no matter where they are. At your desk, the webcam makes sure you're in focus, defining your presence in the conference room. In smaller rooms, Grid View ensures you show up with your colleagues side by side on the screen. And for medium and large rooms, Sight makes sure everyone feels included. We're blurring the lines between being there in person and participating remotely. And that's how we move closer to meeting equity. Now back to you, Scott.
So, there you have it. Success in the new logic of work requires fresh thinking. As you can see, we have an opportunity to do things differently, for work to feel better, more creative, more productive, more immersive. Work has the potential to be sensitive to our unique needs and, most importantly, more equitable. We're excited to make real improvements here. In some ways, our work is only beginning. This is just the first chapter. I hope you can see from what we've shared today, we're making great progress. We're listening and partnering with you in new ways. In this period of trial and error, let's innovate together and create the new logic of work.